Another day, another episode. I'm so excited to be doing this episode. I don't know why, I'm just so excited. I'm so excited. So if you're new here, my name is Millie Albert and I use my own recovery from severe sensitization, severe anxiety and chronic depression to help others who are still struggling. So if you are a first timer here, make sure to hit that subscription button. If you have been watching for some time now and you have not yet subscribed, what is the color of your problem? Tell me, because I don't understand. Can you kindly hit that subscription button? It helps grow the channel, and also every time I post a new video, you'll be able to get notified. I also help individuals who have been stuck in the anxiety cycle for a while. If you feel like anxiety has affected your quality of life, if you feel like anxiety has affected your general wellness, if you want to leave the anxiety subject behind and get freedom, you want to live your life without having to think of anxiety, you want to get your old self back, use this number to message me on WhatsApp or email me using this Gmail. I help people overcome anxiety disorders permanently. I have a mentorship program where I help you understand what is happening. I help you understand what got you into the cycle and how to avoid it in the future, and what method I used to permanently overcome anxiety symptoms. So if that's you, if you are someone who wants to complain, if you're someone who wants to vent, if you're someone who is like they're just checking, they're not even really interested in getting their life back from anxiety, kindly don't message me. Don't message that number. That number is for people who are only interested to overcome anxiety disorders, who are ready to put in the work, who are ready to learn and apply what they have learned to permanently overcome anxiety disorders. Otherwise, in this particular video, I want to talk about thoughts, intrusive thoughts brought by anxiety. If you have been struggling with thoughts for a long time now, I don't know why I have not yet created a video about intrusive thoughts, but yeah, today I'm gonna create it. So if you have struggled with anxious thoughts brought by anxiety, the sticky thoughts, the weird thoughts, the crazy thoughts, the thoughts that make you feel like you're gonna lose your mind, the racing thoughts, that's what you want to address in this video. I want to explain to you guys what causes those symptoms, how they manifest, and how to be able to finally overcome those thoughts. So stay tuned up to the end of this video. I know you might be asking yourself, like, what are these intrusive thoughts? Because when you follow me on TikTok, you realize that I talk a lot about thoughts brought by anxiety, the intrusive thoughts. So you may be asking yourself, like, what is this intrusive thoughts that Albert keeps on talking about? Intrusive thoughts are sticky, negative, repetitive thoughts that come with a lot of emotion. If you have struggled with anxiety, if you're struggling with anxiety, probably you have struggled with intrusive thoughts. They are repetitive, they are scary, they come with an intense emotion that makes you feel like you need to act on these thoughts. They can be what if thoughts. What if I lose my mind? What if the doctor didn't check me well? What if the doctor missed something? What if I die from this? What if I develop these big illnesses? What if it can be about the symptoms? And I disagree when someone says that intrusive thoughts are only about your symptoms. No, intrusive thoughts can be about anything. It can be about your past, it can be about the present, it can be about the future, it can be about anything that is going on in your life. Intrusive thoughts can latch on that, because intrusive thoughts tend to latch on what we care about the most, and intrusive thoughts tend to latch on the worst case scenario. So if you're having thoughts that you feel like you have the urge to act on them, and they come with a very strong emotion, and let me tell you guys, if you were randomly just having thoughts without an emotion, then those thoughts won't be a big deal for you. But because intrusive thoughts come with so much emotion, like this time the doctors are gonna find something, you run to the hospital. So you have taken action because of the emotion that this thought has come with. What if the doctors miss something? So you rush to the hospital, you take action because of the emotions that these thoughts come with. If there was no emotion, if you remove emotion from the thoughts, I don't think the emotions would have been a big deal. They won't be intrusive, they won't be a problem. A mistake that I find that most anxiety sufferers commit is that they treat intrusive thoughts as a different entity from anxiety. Intrusive thoughts are an offset of anxiety. Intrusive thoughts are just like the heart palpitations, the dizziness, the feelings of unreality. They are a symptom of anxiety. They are not, you don't treat them like a different entity. No, intrusive thoughts are part of anxiety. When you are struggling with intrusive thoughts, because I know you ask yourself, like, where do these intrusive thoughts come from? When you are stuck in the survival mode, because you are stuck in survival, the thoughts that you're having, the physical symptoms, they are a state of you being stuck in survival. They are a state of your nerves being sensitized. So when you are stuck in the survival, the amygdala, which is the part of the brain responsible for your survival, it is the part of the brain that tells you that really there is a threat in front of you. You either need to fight or flee from this situation. It helps you in detecting a threat. That is the amygdala. It takes over the cortex. The cortex is the part of your brain that is responsible for logical thinking. It is responsible for making decisions. So when you are because someone who is struggling with anxiety, their brain always believes that they're in danger. So the thoughts that you're having, they are for survival. Your brain is giving you suggestions. Okay, what if it's this? What if it's this? So that you protect yourself. Anxiety is an emotion desired to protect us. It is an innate mechanism desired to protect us. That's why I always say anxiety symptoms are not dangerous. They are harmless. They are there to protect you because your brain believes that this perceived danger that you need to fight. Therefore, it sends you the stress hormones. The stress hormones activate the fight or flight, making you ready to fight this perceived threat. So anxiety is an innate mechanism required for survival. Thoughts brought by anxiety can be very sticky. They tend to be very sticky. They tend to be very repetitive. They tend to be very scary, and they can be about anything. They can be sexual thoughts. You can be thinking about thoughts that are against your morals. They can be harmocity, where you find that some people hide knives because they believe they can harm somebody. Any type of thoughts, really. Anxiety tends to latch on what you care about the most. It tends to latch on the worst case scenario. So the thoughts can be anything, and the content of the thought does not matter, because when you know that you are in survival, anxiety can bring up suggestions about anything. And the suggestions, I always say the thoughts are the suggestions. The thoughts, you don't have control over thoughts. You can have literally any thought, but the thought that you give attention, there is a difference between thought and thinking. The thoughts you don't have any control over. You can have a thought like, what if your partner doesn't love you? What if, the doctor missed something? What if, I don't love my kids? You don't have control. They're the first fear. You don't have control over this type of thoughts. Then there's thinking. Thinking is actively engaging your mind. Actively, you have a thought that your partner doesn't love you. You are actively, no, but my partner loves me. The other day, like, you treat these thoughts as true, and you now worry about these thoughts. You add second fears, you worry, you overanalyze, you engage with these thoughts. And when your brain sees that these are the thoughts that you're giving attention, your brain says that, oh, okay, she or he is liking these thoughts, Henry is liking these thoughts, so therefore I'm gonna send him more of these thoughts, because those are the thoughts that it sees like you are engaging with. So you are gonna have more of those thoughts. The irony, the paradox of anxiety if you engage with the physical symptoms, the thoughts, your brain is gonna give you, it's gonna pump more stress hormones, and you're gonna have more of those thoughts, because the brain sees that they are engaging. These are the thoughts. Remember, anxiety thrives on fear and attention. These are the thoughts that Mary is giving attention, so it seems like she is enjoying these thoughts. She loves these thoughts. Therefore, you're gonna have more of those thoughts. Thoughts brought by anxiety is like TikTok algorithm. When you log into TikTok, and let's say you have there's a video there, and you like that video, you like it, and you engage with the comments, you read the comments all through, and you engage it. TikTok algorithm, right? TikTok algorithm is gonna bring you more of this video, because that's what you have liked. That's what you have, you have engaged with. The same as thoughts brought by anxiety. Those thoughts are going to knock. Those thoughts are going to, and they are going to come with a lot of emotion, intense emotions, that you feel the urge to act on the thoughts. But if you don't understand what is happening, you're going to take the action. You're going to, whether it's mental action, whether it's worrying, over analyzing, overthinking, what you always do, then the brain sees that these are the thoughts that you have given your attention to. Therefore, it brings more of those thoughts. When you have a thought, think of how the TikTok algorithm works. The more you engage with that content, the more you're going to have more of that content. The same with the thoughts. Once you learn that, then there is no need to give the thoughts attention. Even if they knock, they are knocking. What if you should do this? Your husband doesn't do this. You are this. What actually fuels anxious thoughts that people don't know of, that anxiety sufferers don't know of, is you trying to stop that thought. You are trying to stop having it. You suppressing that thought, you resisting it, you arguing with it, solving it, trying to make it right. Anything you do mentally, engaging that thought, anything you do with that thought, that's what makes you have a more intensified thought. That's what makes you have more of that thought. But when you allow it, you acknowledge that, okay, I'm having this thought, and you already know that this is an anxious thought. By the way, in my program, I help you differentiate between a real thought and an anxious thought, so that's not something that you will have to figure out on your own. So you will already know that this is an anxious thought, and an anxious thought, I need to acknowledge it, allow it to be there, and continue with my life, even if it's knocking, even if it comes with pain, because those thoughts always come with emotion, and mine was painful. They were intense emotions. And if you don't know what is happening, you're gonna engage with this thought, you're gonna take action, and this refuels the cycle. Therefore, more of that thought in the future. So if you've watched this video up to this point, by now you should have a context of what is happening and your behaviors that are keeping you stuck with those thoughts. Otherwise, make sure to like this video, make sure to share it, those who may need it. Make sure to comment. If there's anything that you would like me to talk about, can you kindly comment down below and subscribe. Otherwise, let's meet on the next. Doodles!